65 Huguenot Street. We have an applicant that's going to have a request of 2 variances. We're in a unique situation because one of our members has to get back. So what I'm going to do real quickly, because we need 3 people here, and we now have 3 people here, but I want to get it on our way. I just want to get a motion that we're going to have to open a public hearing for 65 Huguenot Street.
Can I just chime in quickly? So the first motion will actually be to reschedule your November meeting to Monday, November 7th. So it'll be 2 motions. First, a motion to reschedule your November meeting to November 7th.
Do that when you want.
Someone wanted to make that.
I'll make a motion to reschedule our November meeting to Monday, November 7th.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so the November meeting is scheduled to Monday, November 7th. Can I also get a motion to schedule a public hearing for that time for 65 Huguenot Street?
I'll make a motion.
Second,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
You want to get rolling?
Thanks, guys.
Okay, we're gonna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Noah.
Tina, I just want to say sorry again for keeping you waiting. Take my doctors.
I appreciate it. No, and welcome back, and we missed you, and congratulations and good luck, and anything else I didn't offer you.
So what was the
Okay.
date? Excuse me, what was the date for the public? hearing?
November 7th. It's Monday, November 7th.
Okay,
Do you have any questions about the process to what you need to do to notify people for the public hearing?
and that's for the zoning board, right?
That's
Or the-
correct.
Okay,
That's for the zoning board.
yeah, thank you. I clarified many things with Autumn. I live in Vermont and my tenant will be the one posting the poster, the neighborhood notification, and Autumn will email me all the addresses of people to whom I have to mail a letter. So I will be doing that from Vermont. My question is, you're doing zoning first, and I thought my application had to be okayed by planning first before going to zoning.
No, we do it differently now. If there's variances that are required, you go to the zoning board first. And then you'll go and present it. If we grant you, whatever the final grant is, you then present that plan back to the planning board with the variances, or the decision on the variance included.
So this plan was approved last year and we didn't get it in place.
Yeah,
because-
that's my question, real quick, Dina.
Yes.
Are there any changes to that original decision that we came to last year?
This is my husband, Daniel. He will answer that.
Hello, Daniel.
There are no changes in the location or general nature of the building. However, the original plan was to have a concrete slab under the building. Now we are just going to have a gravel pad with concrete piers. But it doesn't change the position or appearance of the building. Also.
So, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't know there's more.
Okay, also, there's one additional window on one side of the building, which was acceptable to the Historic Preservation Commission.
Okay, so what I'm going to ask for then, so if there's no changes to the length of the variance that's required, or the amount of the variance that's required, or anything that's of the original variance that is required, what I would ask is that we get an updated electronically, an updated application, and that we get the old decision that was made to make sure Sean, Noah, and Cody and myself have it. What we'll do is we'll compare it. Have these changes been looked at by the planning board?
No, they've been looked at by the Historical Preservation, but there is an application into the planning board.
Okay, could you include the updated plan? Send that
Yes.
please to Autumn as quickly as you can so we can review it. If we have any, did you have the old plan there as well?
Autumn has the old plan and the new one for both zoning and planning. She has them already.
All righty. And can you also include the decision from the Preservation Society in that as well, so that we have that on file?
Okay.
We have that. We should have that on file.
I will
Make
send by email I will send to you at the zoning board, correct?
Yeah, send it to Autumn. Go ahead. That's it.
Yeah, I
Yes,
was
I know
going
when
through
at the time of the prior variance, I believe the Historic Preservation Commission had reviewed it and given a approval of some type. So if there's been a change with a new window, if that's been reviewed by the Historic Preservation Commission and they've given a new approval, then
Yes.
that's what this board would be looking for.
Yes, thank you.
And then also, I guess, I thought someone had mentioned something about a fence earlier.
Autumn today, when I spoke to her on the phone, told me that the meeting tonight was about this little fence that's about hip height, knee height, excuse me, along the border between my house and the neighbor. And that was.
Well,
and
Are you
that-
requiring a
that-
variance for that fence?
You're gonna have to explain the rules to me. I sent it to the building department. I didn't know that the building department had to approve the, the materials we were using and everything. And so that has been approved. And the HPC has approved the fence going in. So I don't know. But Autumn told me that tonight you would be talking about that side yard fence. So I'm puzzled.
And we have
Well,
not,
Dina,
we have not made an application to the zoning board about this fence. No one has brought up previously the question of whether the zoning board would need to be involved with that.
Well, my suggestion would be to get with Corey, the building inspector. He may even drive out there for you, and you should ask him or get him to review if you are required to have a variance, if you're in violation of any zoning code with that fence. You should double check that. If you're not, then there's nothing for us to discuss here in front of the zoning board. If you are, I would update and get your application in immediately. And so that we could at least review it at the same time as your old application and this new one as well. And we can compare everything probably after the public hearing, and we won't delay you too much. But if we don't have that in time, you would actually have to go through the whole process again, another public hearing and another variance request. So you need to really ask the building inspector, are you in violation of any zoning codes?
I'm totally surprised because this little fence, I did not know that had to go to planning or zoning.
Is it a silt fence, a construction fence?
It's,
No, it's a little wooden fence. It's knee high just to look nice along the boundary.
I can't direct you. I can only suggest. You may not have to even put anything in front of the building inspector. I just know that right now, as far as I understand, I can only decide on the variances that are put in front of us, and there's no application for a request for a variance for that fence.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think if you just explain to the building inspector what it is, where it's located, how high it is, then he could determine whether or not it complies with the zoning and whether or not it would need a variance. It may not, but
Corey already has all of that in pictures and dimensions and everything. And I thought he just could say yes or no. So now you're saying I need to contact Corey to see if I need to make an
if you submitted it to
application
Corey
whom?
already, then we could follow
Yeah.
up with him and see whether it needs a variance.
great,
Typically, he
He's
would
good
point
at-
that out, so.
Right,
great,
because,
because he's hard to reach on the phone.
and Autumn told me today that you were acting on this, so I'm totally confused.
No, we can't act on this.
On the side yard setback.
Yeah, the only thing that we would discuss is the actual application of a variance that you have currently in front of us, which is basically the renewal of a decision that we made that's expired.
Right.
And if there's been no changes to that, what we do is we go through the process again, and I would imagine that you'll be in very good shape and getting the same variance that we voted on last time, once we conclude a public hearing and we don't find anything out that would have to impact our decision or anything that we did last time.
Okay, so
Different.
I will just review what you said about the side yard fence. I have to get back to Corey to see if there's a variance that needs to come before planning and zoning.
Well-
And the separate thing is the accessory shed. That's a different application.
So currently, we don't have an application or any paperwork on the fence. That's something that sounds like it's currently between you and Corey or you and the zoning board. There hasn't been an appeal filed, so we don't have any, we have no reference to this fence. We're talking about the shed only.
He most likely would have told you if you needed a variance when you presented the plan to him. I cannot speak for him right now, but he would have, I would imagine, and this is usually his plan of action, would be to say, this is in violation of a zoning code, you need a variance for it. Now, if he hasn't said anything, you may want to just go back and double check with him as soon as you can.
I
and
will.
just verify that.
I will check with Corey to see if the plan for the little side yard fence is okay as is, or whether I need a variance. And if I need a variance, I have to come back to planning and zoning.
Well, no, if you need a variance, the first thing you need to do is put an application in as soon as possible. Okay, so maybe that we can kind of not waste another month and we can get that into your public hearing and we can, after that public hearing, we can review if Autumn gets, if you do need one, and I'm only saying this to kind of expedite the process, she can get your variance in front of us with the other ones that she's going to send, and we can kind of decide on it at the next meeting when we vote. We're not going to vote tonight. We can't do anything until I open a public hearing and see if anybody has anything that they'd like to offer, and then I close that public hearing, and then we would go ahead and really have a vote, or even probably at that time. I mean, I don't know how long this discussion would be if you don't require a variance for the fence, and we already voted on the last one. I would imagine it'd be a pretty simple process that we would simply just extend you another year.
I will check with Corey. The fence is new. It was not applied for last year. I'll see if I
Okay.
need variance for the fence. The accessory shed is a separate project.
Okay. Thanks, guys. That's about all we have right now. I mean, I would just recommend you go down that path, and we'll see you here November 7th.
Great, thank you.
All right, thanks, Dina. Thank you, Mr. Dubois. Okay, we have an approval of September meeting minutes, and we have village board updates on this agenda as well. Do we have any village board updates? Okay, we don't have, okay, no updates, no updates. Can I get a motion to approve the September minutes?
I think it might be the August. I don't believe you had a meeting in September.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm reading off the, I'm sorry, can I get approval for
And
our
I'm
last
not
meeting?
sure. Did you have a meeting in August? Now I'm trying to,
Yeah.
Did we have one? Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We had a meeting. I think we had a meeting in August.
yes, August you did. Okay.
Yeah. All right, can I get a motion to approve the August minutes? Motion, McCoy, second.
Seconding.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, those minutes are now adopted. Just real quick before, is anybody out there listening on Zoom, Autumn? I would have made an appeal. Please get out and try to serve your boards if you can. We're in desperate need of people. So if there's anybody out there listening, spread the word. With that said, Ashley, do you have anything for us that we should discuss or take a look at?
No, nothing
No.
for me.
Okay, and Autumn, you know what we need for the next meeting. We're gonna need to review those, the last. I don't know if they need a variance or not. I imagine Corey probably would have said something. Yeah, I don't, but I don't want to speak for Corey, but if he's already seen it, I imagine his method of operation would have been to do that. So we just need to get this current application compared to the last application. If it looks good and there's no issues with public hearing, we should be fine.
Why didn't she build it? Any ideas?
I don't know why. We can ask that at her next meeting. I didn't want to get too long into it without Noah going back,
All
so
right,
we can discuss that next time. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be.
yeah, it just seems,
It was also, it was 2019, right?
we should probably
So it's
close,
Could have
been-
been
we should
COVID,
probably
yeah.
close this stuff.
Well, we got three of us. We can leave it open. I didn't want to, if we can't talk this, if there's one-on-one, we can get into that.
Mm.
All right, anyway, Autumn, you know what you need for us to send electronically. With that said, can I get a motion to close the meeting of October 11th?
Motion to close.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, this meeting is officially adjourned.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Good night, everyone.
You guys